Saucier. Here. Ms. Savage. Here. Mr. Stafford. Ms. Green. This meeting is being held in compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Laws 1975. Certification of this notice is on file in the office of the Township Clerk. Advance written notice of this meeting was posted on the bulletin board of the municipal building, was mailed to the Burlington County Times, was filed with the clerk of Mount Holly Township, and was mailed to all persons who requested and paid for such notice.
Yes, and your word is saying.
Please stand for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have a moment of silence for Mr. Stafford, who was a real force in this town for many, many years. Passed away recently. Thank you. First item on the agenda, the minutes of May meeting of May 22nd, 2023. This was a special meeting. We have a motion to approve those minutes.
So in there?
Do you have a microphone up
Yeah, because we
there?
can't hear.
We can't hear a word.
Just a mic.
All right, I'll talk loud. Okay,
Okay, I'll do roll call. Mr. Yakovich?
here.
Mr. Adler?
Yes.
Mr. Banks?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Ms. Saucier?
Yes.
Ms. Savage?
Yes.
Again, the minutes of May 22nd, 2023, special meeting. Then the minutes, there was a motion to approve the minutes and a second. Are there any comments on the minutes? Madam Secretary? Okay, old business, application number 2023-4. Site of 55-61 High Street. The applicant, ANDCI Properties, 55 High Street, Mount Holly, New Jersey, block 50, lot 71 zone. Application for D-use variance and request for waiver of the requirements to submit a site plan application. The applicant is requesting a D-use variance and waiver from the site plan submission requirement to create market rate apartments on the third floor, and 3 two-bedroom apartments on the second floor, and 2 apartments and 1 three-bedroom apartment on the third floor.
For your
I
reference.
understand that the
Yeah.
applicant is requesting the meeting, the application be adjourned until the August meeting, which is August 21st.
Be adjourned to the August 21st meeting, so anyone who is here on application 2023-4, 5561 High Street, block 50, lot 7, it'll be adjourned to the August 21st meeting without further notice or publication, so it's not going to be heard tonight. And the applicant has agreed to toll the time for the board to act.
And moving on to new business.
We can do that, do a motion to accept the request for adjournment with the understanding that it's going to be, no notice is required, and they told the time for the board to act.
I'll make that motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstaining?
Moving on to new business, application number 2023-3, site location Grant Street. The applicant is at Pallante LLC regarding block 41-03, lot 16, in the R1 zone. Preliminary and major final site plan. The applicant is requesting to subdivide the tract into 7 lots. 6 lots will be used for the construction of 3 sets of proposed twin, single-family homes, side-by-side duplexes. Lot 7 will be an open space lot proposed to be dedicated to the family.
Again, for your reference, the applicant has requested that the hearing on this application be adjourned to the August 21st meeting. They consent to the board tolling the time for the board to act. I don't believe it has even been deemed complete yet, but they made that request. So is there a motion to accept the request and adjourn the hearing on this application to the August 21st meeting? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstaining? Okay, so for members of the public, application number 2023-3, it's the application of F. Pallante LLC for Grant Street, block 41.03, lot 16. It's for the subdivision and other improvements. It's being adjourned to the August 21st meeting without further notice or publication, so it's not being heard tonight.
Moving on. This is the public portion of the meeting. We're opening to the public. We'll start from the first row with anyone from the first row that wants to make a comment, observation. Please identify yourself and your address.
Nikita Hudson, 222 Grant Street. I was here at the last few meetings with regards to new business. It keeps getting pushed over and over again. I guess again, we're gonna have it on August 21st, where I feel like we come down here, we express our thoughts, our feelings about the woods, yet the applicant keeps pushing and extending, and like, when is this gonna end? Like, when are we gonna be able to sit and talk with, you know, the applicant so they understand how we feel about the woods and what they're doing? Is it that they're just waiting for us to just forget all about it and then show up eventually? This has been since at least April. Now we're pushing it all the way to August. When are you guys gonna decide, okay, we're not gonna allow them to push any further? Everyone here is here with regards to it. We were here last time. We lasted for 2 hours while we all expressed our concerns and our feelings.
Thank you.
So the matter is, just for your reference, it's adjourned. We don't have control over when applicants come before the board. They have to submit certain types of information. They request an adjournment, and boards are, they're controlled by case law in terms of granting or not permitting that type of request. And usually you have to grant it.
Every
Applicants are free, or members of the public are free to contact the applicant and have their discussions with them. We don't engage them. All we do is hear it at this public forum. We really can't comment any further on applications which are not being heard tonight, but we appreciate your comments.
Yes, sir.
Mark Thomas. I live in Pemberton Borough, but I'm a member of the Rancocas Creek Watershed.
Spell your last name, please.
Thomas. I'm a physician. I was trained in Mount Holly Hospital in the late 80s, early 90s. And I founded the Rancocas Conservancy. We got our 501c3 on September 12, 1991. At any rate, as a member of the watershed, which is 370 square miles, it includes Mount Holly and 29 townships, including adjacent areas of Ocean County and Camden County. The watershed, of course, Mount Holly is right in the middle of the watershed. I had some information that I got through research through the Green Acres program related to open space acquisition. And this also relates to the definition of a township or a municipality as an overburdened or distressed community. It is information that I gathered from Green Acres today that townships may acquire land for open space purposes and receive grants depending on the level of distressed community or overburdened community that they are. up to 100% of the value of the property. So that would mean that if you are a distressed community, and I don't know exactly the definition in Mount Holly, but I know it's at least overburdened. There are a couple of different rankings of being overburdened or distressed. But anyway, I just point out to the board that there is considerable access then to funding that can be brought to bear on land that is deemed to be valuable for open space. And I would say that this is a boon and a bounty for a township such as Mount Holly, which could hope to access matching funding if they care to, but 100% is 100%. And if you, I think that it would behoove the planning board to check this out to make sure that they can, access their due share for what this population is indicating is a significant sentiment for preservation. Thank you.
Luis Lopez, 9811 Drive. Does it cost money to move application, to the next meeting? And, if anyone who see this video, it's being broadcasted. And to discontinue, or demolish this ordinance and use more grant money to restore the woods, the woods in Grant Street and Levis Drive, instead of, the houses. Thank you.
Road 2.
Randy Rocco, 33 Union Street. I think it was either April or May, I don't remember which meeting, I kind of lose track of time, that I actually brought up to the board that the master plan was dutifully, out of date. It was 2007. And I noticed at the last township meeting, they actually passed a resolution, 2023-84, authorizing funds to conduct a reevaluation of the master plan. And I don't know if that came from you guys to the township, but if so, I just want to thank you for that, because I think it's a really important thing. And I guess it's money, I guess the RI is going to be doing the reevaluation. I would ask that as part of that process, to be open to the public. I know there's required to have at least one public hearing, but it'd be really nice to have a couple of workshops where the public can come in and give ideas, review it. This is our town, everybody's town here, and it's the master plan is our vision of how we want the town to look, where you want the redevelopment, where you want open space, how you want to use the land. And since it hasn't been done in 2007, I think it should be an open back and forth process, and I think that would be really important, because as you can see here, for people that showed up, people want to get involved, and they want to have an input on where they live and how it looks and functions on the open spaces. So I want to thank you for that, and I hope that is taken into consideration when that part of the reevaluation starts. The other thing I wanted to bring up is pictures are supposed to be, say, 1,000 words. Now, hopefully, these pictures that I have here actually do that. I don't have that many copies. The first page of it, you can see the pictures of trees. They look really nice landscaping. I think it looks really nice. These pictures were actually taken at the warehouse that went up on the bypass in Morris Highway. Give it what you might think of warehouses, they did a wonderful job on landscaping and putting the trees. I think they're actually quite nice. The second page, I happened to drive through Parkersville and took some pictures from my car. Not so nice landscaping. 3 of these pictures show dead trees that were recently planted. The third picture is really hard to tell a little bit, but I think these are trees that are in the detention basin, or maybe it's the forebay to the wetland, to the detention basin on Levis. The tops of the trees are alive, the bottom branches are all dead. The planning board passed this development with the landscaping plan, and I think, I don't know who does goes out and makes sure they actually follows what the planning board actually passed, who does the inspections, but I think this is unacceptable. And I think the planning board should deem this unacceptable and call the, developer to, replace these trees and maybe get some better stock, because wherever he's getting his nursery stock, these trees are not healthy. And if you look, farther up on Levis, not Levis, so we look farther up on Grand Street and on Brown Street, we did some tree planting 4 years ago. Those trees look beautiful on the street. And we got them from, I think it's Pallante that we worked with the New Jersey, Tree Foundation with that grant. So don't get the bottom basement Oregon trees. Please make it look nice. I mean, you want residents to come in, there should be a new development is supposed to improve the gardens. Having landscaping like this does not improve this area. Thank you.
Anyone else want to second?
Hi, good evening. Michael Rothmel, 33 Union Street. Just a couple of comments. One, I think it's exciting that the township is going to reevaluate the master plan, which hasn't been done since 2007. And I would note that statute does require public input. And as I look around the room, I see people with knowledge and money to acquire open space. I know there are people with government knowledge, and there's people with passion. And I would implore the planning board and the council to involve the community and plan for this, because with the ability to get free money for open space, because we are an overburdened community, we learned that from the GDP application, we could really make this township look nice and do something. And involving the knowledgeable people and passionate people that are here tonight and have been coming to meetings, I think would be a benefit to the township to advocate for those purposes. And I would hope that we can all work, all work together to really make a master plan to improve Mount Holly as we go forward. The other thing I noticed, and I want to just, I guess it's a question, I know that there is a tree ordinance and there's supposed to be a tree removal application. And I don't know if one exists, because I know there are previous developments such as the train wreck Stratosphere and 223 High that did not file permits before removing trees, but now we have to file permits, which is a good thing because it's state. I don't know if there's a form, and I would ask the planning board and the council to work together to develop a form if there's not one already. And if there is, then to let us know where that is. Thank you.
Maureen Taylor Ford, 117 Branch Street. Hi, I'm here to support the open space. Because my specialty is science, epidemiology. Can you explain to me how many times a so-called person can adjourn a meeting, since I know it's been since April? As a citizen, I don't know these terms. I'm just curious, like, can this go on for the next year? And while they're doing all this adjourning, are they actually doing planning behind people's back? I'm sorry, I can't hear you, sir.
We're fighting the fans here. Could you speak?
Can't really hear you. Go to the front, Maureen.
Hello. I didn't hear you.
I can hear you.
Oh, you can hear me?
No.
Oh, no problem. Maureen Taylor Ford, 117 Branch Street. I said science is my thing, epidemiology, so I'm not familiar with these terms. When you say adjournment, and you say that they can adjourn it again, so it's someone who is, I'm not a law person, I'm a science person. How many times can these people adjourn, and while they're constantly adjourning, are they even behind my back planning while they're constantly adjourning things? Because I'm just a normal citizen, I don't know. That's my first question.
So we're not really supposed to talk about pending applications
Okay.
when they're not here, because that's not fair to them. But
Okay.
in general, the case law is that, if a reasonable request for adjournment is made, the board should grant it.
So there's no
But-
excess amounts is what I'm asking, there's no
Well,
limit.
at a certain point, some boards say you have to renotice, but there is, as you've been doing, there is an obligation of people who have been noticed to keep track of that. But if it,
Does our
Yeah.
town have a limit? If it's already
It's
been
case
since
by case
April?
basis.
Case by case, okay. Moving on to the next thing, on the same line. My husband and I were transplants here, military transplants, okay, we chose this as our town. I'm from New York, my husband's from California, okay? When I came back from Afghanistan, I chose to stay here in this town. I have 2 more children born in this town, in addition to the 2 that I brought here that all attended RP. My concern is, if you're taking, you know, I just looked at some statistics, it said Mount Holly is 2.87 miles long. If we're gonna continue to just take whatever little bit of trees and land space that we have, I come from New York, born and raised my whole life. My mother was a narcotics cop and a parole officer. So I come from law enforcement, I understand a little bit. But if I'm coming here because I want the greenery, I could have stayed in New York if I wanted the busyness. And this is what I see it turning into, busy. I see the planning board just planning, okay, we're building. What about the different things that are still can be up and building now? What about that? I think I'm allotted a little bit of time so she was answering my question. So that's my concern, you know. Why not give something to the high school? We have all these houses going up. These schools are already overcrowded. Are you kidding me? Why not? The high school has an environmental program. Why can't we give some of that land space to the high school? Why can't we give some to the middle school? Why can't we do something? Sean Kennedy is losing his mind over there at the recreation department. Wouldn't it be nice to take a field trip halfway across town to the woods? Because we don't have woods over there next to Mill Dam Park anymore.
Thanks.
My name is Charlotte Dr. C. Scott, and at 256 Clifton Avenue.
Can you come up?
Please speak up.
They can hear me.
Sorry, I didn't want to sound like I was shouting. My name is Charlotte Dr. C. Scott. I'm new to Mount Holly at 256 Clifton Avenue. And I'm wondering if they tore all that garden mess down and they're rebuilding, why do they have to tear the trees down and build more? Anybody?
Nobody knows on somebody else's application, they're not here. We can't speak for them. They're not here tonight. We can't speak for
Why
them.
does the planning board allow that?
Good question.
I mean, we can't speak on specific matters, but based upon an approved plan, they have to be in compliance, so that's reviewed by the engineer and the board's planner, in conjunction with the construction official and possibly the zoning official. But we can't comment on that, because this is not an enforcement board.
Thank you.
I don't think I'm at the right place, but I'm hoping you tell me where to go. I'm trying to get resident parking and speed bumps. Who do I present this to? Because I don't know.
It's not us.
It's not, I knew it wasn't. I was hoping you could tell me.
Maybe a council meeting. Council
Oh,
meeting.
that's gonna be that?
Yeah.
Okay. And just a quick note, I took a ride by and, it's beautiful, that wood area. Lots of wildlife. Support these people 100%. You can say that.
Your name and address?
Oh, yeah, you did that. Kay Owen, 141 Bisbee Street. Thanks.
Barbara Jean Dowling, 52 Devon Road. I want to thank you all for your time and for listening to us, number one. I was at the last Township meeting, and I'm not only speaking about, and I know we can't be specific about the Grand Street project, but I would implore the planning board to save any of the green space that Mount Holly has. I come from New York, Hoboken, and Bayonne, and I moved here to Mount Holly 22 years ago because it reminded me of a Norman Rockwell little town. It was a beautiful little town. Now when you drive through, to me it's starting to look like the concrete jungle.
Yes.
I used to have to go to parks to see squirrels. Now, behind my property and the adjacent properties on the cul-de-sac, which was called Bartram Manor, there is wildlife. We have a barred owl, which is a threatened species. We've had tree frogs. We've got a family of foxes.
Yes.
We've got
so many different birds. It's not only good for the environment, I'm also a recreational therapist for adult medical daycares throughout the state of New Jersey for dementia and disabled individuals. And taking them and letting them see nature is educational, and it's good for your own self-being. And I know we had COVID for the last 3 years, and I'm sure people took a walk around through the woods. And like I said, this isn't only for this one section, it's for Mount Holly as a whole, because if you drive around through Mount Holly, there isn't much more space for our children to grow, for our children to find things, just to enjoy nature. And I'm sure every one of you, if you've lived in Mount Holly for all these years and you've grown up in Mount Holly, I'm sure you want to save that space. There's grant money out there, and I implore the planning board, whatever individuals there are, if there's companies that want to come in and do more development, I think looking around, we have more development than what we need right now. What we need is to fix things that are broken, like streets. We need to have new trees planted. We need to save what we have. And I don't know where all these animals are gonna go to if we knock down the woods. Especially animals up in the mount and along Grand Street. And like I said, it's a beautiful time of the year, springtime, when the trees are all in bloom, and you see the red foxes, which they just had pups, and there's
Yes.
about 4 pups. And they're gonna be endangered if we don't let them stay in their habitat. So I implore you, please, before people come to you and they wanna knock down more trees and utilize more green space, please think about the future, not now, and money. Because sometimes money isn't what we all need. Thank you.
Yep.
Hello, my name is Vince Levesque. I own property at 214 Grand Street. This is my sister Tina Cliver. She owns the property at 216 Grand Street. And my mother Elizabeth Levesque, who owns the property at 220 Grand Street. And we're all here in support of opposition of developing that land. We lived there since 1974. 72.
We've been there 50 years.
So we're in opposition of the development of that land, and also try to make it more of a reserve or open space. So many times I drive down other townships and they have, preserved by open space, and we'd like some portion of Mount Holly to also have some open space reserved for our future children.
Those woods are beautiful, mature trees, they're so beautiful.
Yes.
And to tear them down just to build more houses is a sin. Absolutely.
That's it. Thank you.
My name's Amber Kokobas. I'm at 100 Madison Avenue, and just like I think everybody here, I'm here in support of preserving not only the space that is adjourned, but any green space available that the planning board and the town can come together and utilize available grant funding to preserve. And I think it really goes hand in hand with concerns that I've heard in attending town council meetings, in online like Mount Holly groups, and talking to people. There's a lot of concern about youth recreation and space and activities for youth to do. And in preserving some of these green spaces, we could have some relatively low cost youth recreations, whether it's walking trails, community gardens, nature programming. I know, oh my gosh, it's escaping me. The Wildlife Center in Medford, Cedar Run, yeah. They're much larger than, this would probably be, but they run children's programming. So I think that it is not just great for everyone and everyone's well-being and the environment, but really an opportunity to work some things in for our youth.
Thank you. We have called for
Last row.
Heidi Winzinger, 34 Bartram Avenue.
In your master plan, in the open space plan, I love the lines one of Mount Holly's greatest strengths is its systems of interconnected waterways, open spaces, and streets. And then it says the township is committed to preserving and enhancing these assets as an environmental resource and as a signature gateway feature. It talks about improving the pedestrian and bicycle connectivity. It says explore potentials to acquire properties in order to preserve them. Design a comprehensive network of open spaces with appropriate linkages. So this was in the open space plan from 2014, but I still